Fantastic. We will call the meeting to order at 1:06 p.m. And start with roll call. Craig Pepper, absent. Dave Brennan?
Here.
And we can hear you. Mark Tannenbaum?
Here.
I'm here. Jeff Salonis?
Present.
And our ex officio members, we have Jason Wazorek? Absent. Chris Kinder? Here. Fantastic. Okay. Before we jump into the agenda, we know that many of you are here to speak on behalf of your grant applications. Do we have anyone who's here to speak just in general from the public, not related to a grant application? Hearing none, we're moving on. So our first item on the agenda is the approval of the March meeting minutes. So, Dave, I think you might be missing out. We have them printed here in front of us. That's what I just said. It says April on the agenda, but I did say March. So we're looking at the March meeting minutes. Dave, again, I don't think that you have them, but we have them here in front of us.
Oh, I guess I do see that. Sorry.
So at any point, we'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes, or actually, I'll make the motion. A motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Also second.
Seconded by Mark. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the March 2023 minutes, please signify by aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Perfect. We're not looking at the April minutes because those are not yet ready. Next item on the agenda is a quick update on the Historic Preservation Plan, which is in process.
Yeah, so exciting news. We have a first draft. It's not a complete first draft. It's kind of just a report on the city, but it is a first draft. It looks very, very nice. Melinda and I have seen a copy of it. I was not able to attend the meeting Friday, but Melinda met with some folks from the Lakota group and talked over this draft. It looks really, really good. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks we'll get a draft for everybody draft out for everybody to see and look over. So we're pretty excited. It's a big step.
Just to provide clarification, the draft that was prepared is the draft of the introduction, the historical and developmental context, as well as the overview of historic preservation in general and available tools. So the next piece, the next draft that will be prepared, which I think they said would be late May.
Late May, June, somewhere in there.
Is actually going to be the key recommendations and or action plan.
And it's the document right now is 108 pages, so it's a pretty substantial document.
Minus the recommendations.
Minus the
right?
recommendations, so it'll be a good sized document. And it's really, really well done.
Are they coming back for public meetings? Lakota?
I don't know.
they're
I think they
coming back
will
on
be
the
coming
spring.
back once there is a workable draft.
Okay.
I know they'll be coming back for some, but I'm not sure what types of meetings those are yet.
Okay.
I'll ask, because I'm supposed to catch up with Doug, and I'll ask about that.
We did ask for them to be involved in the presentation to City Council.
Yeah, and I know they will be for
But it
that.
could potentially also be via Zoom, depending on.
It could be, yeah.
Okay, so that takes care of our old business. Jumping then to new business, we are in receipt of 2 nominations for 2 new historic overlay districts, and actually I use districts loosely. These are both individual property nominations.
Yes. Both individual. One is, I can't think of the name. It's in Fairview. It's an individual residential property. That draft is on our share drive, so you should be able to see that. And then we'll, you can look at it now. You should be able to access it on your laptops now.
Frontier Park.
What's that? Sorry.
Frontier Park, not Fairview.
So
Not Fairview,
anyway, we should hopefully, if everybody...
Was it in Frontier Park or Fairview?
Frontier Park, not
Thank
Fairview.
you.
Frontier
Thank
Park.
you.
Sorry. That's what I
Fine.
meant.
That's fine.
That was an enjoyable slip of the
We
tongue, by
cleaned
the way.
everything all the way up.
It started with an F. How about that? Anyway, it's a really well done draft. You should be able to access that in the share drive, and then hopefully what we'll be able to do is in June be able to include that as part of our meeting. That will be the public meeting for that particular property. The other one is the Schlosser block, which is your neighbor, Mark, has presented a draft, but it needs a little bit of work. So it may or may not be available for June for a public meeting in conjunction with our monthly meeting. So 2 more drafts or 2 more nominations, so hopefully we can get those up and going pretty quick.
It's exciting. Okay, so we have, next on the agenda is diving right into the grant applications that we have in front of us. So there were a number that we had tabled after our review during our last meeting, and we can review those or discuss those updates now. The first one on the agenda, and the first one here actually wasn't tabled, it was simply missed by accident. So we're putting it in the batch of grants that was reviewed as part of our last meeting. But this is the Neelys, Jennifer and Chad Neely, and we do have the Neelys on Zoom.
And this is the school,
26 and Peaks.
what's it called?
You should be unmuted now, Jennifer. We can't hear you.
My mother went to grade school in that school building.
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Is that her microphone that's on? Is that what the symbol means in the lower left?
Well, we did have Dave speaking earlier.
Testing, testing.
There you go. Oh, I heard David.
Oh, she's going to put it in
I wonder if
chat.
Jennifer,
Jennifer's missing her audio, so she's going to
microphone's
put it in chat. Okay. Go right ahead. You can tell us as much as you want via chat, what you feel like typing.
They did give their presentation last week, even though they weren't on the agenda.
And that's Neely, Neely, correct?
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So this project does involve masonry repairs, and it involves masonry repairs to what is a great old school building at 2617 Peach Street. The total project cost is $42,133.80. They are requesting the full $15,000, and will be providing a match in the amount of $27,133.8. Do we have any questions or comments about this application?
There have been several applications that I read that talk about pressure washing and power washing. And I know there's a big debate about damaging the brick and stuff like that, depending on what they use. I just want to make sure that that contractor is experienced in that.
Dave, are you familiar with, I think this one was Alex? Or no, Antonio?
There's Antonio and Sam Catania had a quote for power washing and Northwest Restoration. There were three people that were on the last batch that we're talking about pressure washing, power washing.
they just need to do a test to make sure that they don't have too much pressure. So I think it just needs to be a process to see what minimal pressure they can put on the building to clean it without damaging the masonry. But yeah, that's definitely something that you need to be careful with.
Okay. And it's more concern for the owner than it is for us. We obviously want the building clean, but we also don't want to damage it. So it's just the amount of experience the contractor has, and he does it not damage your brick.
Yes, this one is Antonio and Sons Contracting. Are there any other questions about this application?
Not a question, but a comment. Because this is above $25,000, we would have to use prevailing wage to accept it.
Is that the number, Chris, 25,000?
Yes.
Jennifer, does that make sense to you?
Is that the Davis-Bacon Act, something like that?
It's the Pennsylvania Prevailing Wage Act that actually takes effect.
Okay. But that is a business decision, right? Not a historical preservation question, right? That's really for the redevelopment authority to work out with them?
It's a requirement of the funding source.
Yeah. So
We've done that. It really, you have to certify your paychecks on a weekly basis.
But our box we stay in is
Right.
historical preservation, right? Not the business end of it.
We just have to clarify that when we're presenting and we approve, we have to clarify that because it is above 25,000, it has to be prevailing wage.
It's important at least that the property owner be,
Yeah. And then there's a list
Notified and
of what
reminded.
each job is and what their rate is. Which changes all the time.
yeah, so because this is the American Rescue Plan Act funding, there are pretty specific
Sure.
requirements with regard to Davis-Bacon.
Right.
But for most uses of American Rescue Plan Act funding, at least through the coronavirus local fiscal recovery funds, which are these dollars that we're working with, the federal government has actually said to apply local state laws. So here in Pennsylvania, it would be the Pennsylvania Prevailing Wage Act that would take effect. So per the Prevailing Wage Act, any projects with a total cost of $25,000 or more is required to pay prevailing wage for the work, which does ultimately impact the total cost of the project. So that's why Chris is mentioning this now.
It's very likely that Anthony pays his people that anyway. It's pretty normal.
So any additional questions? We're okay. Okay, thank you. So let's go ahead. Do we want to then
Yeah, I'll make a
make a
motion.
motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the grant for Neely Properties.
Do we have a second?
Mark's ready.
I'll second.
There you go.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the application for 2617 Peach Street, please signify by aye or raise your hand. Excellent. Okay. Congratulations, Jennifer. Your grant has been approved. You're welcome. Okay. So the next grant application is going to be Christopher Papicello. And this application, let's see, quickly, garage work at 3402 Old French Road. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Christopher, are you your Percello?
My name's Stephen, but Christopher Pepicello,
Oh.
P-E-P-I-C-E-L-L-O.
P-E-P-I-C-E-L-L-O. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And go ahead, and whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I don't know if you shared with them the updated estimate and the pictures of the materials that will be used.
I believe, and I'm not sure if we got the pictures up at the others.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see the revised.
I have those if you want to share amongst yourselves.
I do.
But, so here's the original in my garage and the updated materials. So it looks virtually the same, just updated, more durable, longer-lasting material.
Does that include? Oh, this is the material.
And I did confirm with the contractor that none of the wood is salvageable. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Do we have any questions?
Oh,
We're really appreciative that you were here today.
Sure.
If we don't have any other questions, does someone want to make a motion pertaining to this grant application?
What's the amount that is requested?
14.5.
Well, here is something that we do need to clarify.
Okay.
So there is a match requirement to this?
Yes, I messed that up on the application. I will pay the $14.50. Yes, the 10% match.
The 10% match, okay.
Yes.
So that will ultimately, okay, so that will change.
Do I need to update the application or anything? I just don't want there to be any discrepancies.
We're just going to make a note here.
Okay.
So the grant, Mark, the actual grant award amount that we're looking at would be $13,050.
It'd be $13,050.
Yes, because, and please correct me if this is wrong, the total project cost is $14,500.
Mm-hmm.
We subtract out $1,450 as the
Mhm.
required 10% match,
Sure.
and we're left with $13,050.
13,500, right? 13,500
No.
for the grant?
Mm-hmm. $13,050 because it's $1,450.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
So the grant is 13,500. We
No,
subtract
no,
out.
no, no, 13,050.
Okay,
13050.
got it.
Okay. Questions? Oh, wait, motion.
I'll
Motion,
make-
let's get back to the
I'll make a
motion.
motion to approve the Pepsi application.
Do we have a second? I'll second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving this application, please signify by aye. Aye?
Aye.
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 Perfect. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Let's see. The next application we have is Samuel Barzano, 261, 263 West 26th Street. And do we have Mr. Barzano either online or?
His sister is the one who can handle it because he's in the hospital.
Okay.
I thought she was going to be here today. She is.
And I'm not, is it 261, 263 West 26th Street?
Yes, it's several addresses on the corner of 26th and Myrtle.
Okay,
It's one building, but it's several addresses.
okay.
Is it that white building on the southwest corner? Is that it?
Southeast.
Southeast corner?
Yeah. See, it's yellow now.
Mhm.
It's an older brick building.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah, 2601 Myrtle. It's the same. I see. So they specifically have narrowed their request. They are seeking funding for repainting the brick.
Yes, and she's asking for the full 15,000.
But the quote that she submitted is for 13,860, and the app.
She might be the wrong one.
No, I think you're right.
Am I right?
But the application originally was written for between 7 to 10, and she's asking for 13.8, which is fine, it's in the grants, but I think we need an application, a revised application. There hasn't been a revised one,
No.
This is the only
But
thing that was in the, yeah.
Just the award, I mean, just the. yes.
Well, I
They have
think
some-
that we can look at the scope. So if they are revising the scope of work to solely the repainting of this property, and we are looking solely at the scope of work in the contractor estimate which is from Lake Erie Painting and Services, which does not include, they had a couple of other projects that they wanted to get done in their application, but this is, if we are looking solely at the repainting of the building, it's $13,860, which means $10,000 would be the maximum that we can grant.
Yes, but the application doesn't say that today. All we have is the quote.
No,
So-
we can update that with a memo.
Okay.
And attach it to the application.
Right. Just so when it goes to the redevelopment,
Yeah.
they know actually
Yeah,
what
and
we're
with,
asking
with all the
for.
memos, because we're still working on that part, with all the memos, it'll include the amount that it was approved for.
Approved, okay, all right.
So are we voting for a $10,000 grant at this point?
It'd be 13,
Or are we waiting
No,
for
no,
them
no,
to
it
come
would be a
back?
$10,000 grant,
is it max? So
because the
maybe-
project is $13,860, and we have
Right.
to pull out the required match.
Right.
That would make it.
It would make it $10,000.
She's got it on.
I'm
Got the
using, I'm using
Excel
Excel.
I trust you. I can't compete with Excel.
Are we going to vote on this, or are we
Came out
going to
exactly.
hold for the sister to speak?
She spoke at the last meeting.
Okay.
What the project is. It is repainting. They have revised it to just be painting. I know they were asking for a few other things, but it's just primarily painting the building and the structure now. I think that's all it is right now, is painting the structure.
I think there's brick repair in there too.
Yeah, a little bit repair.
So, yes, I'm so sorry, Chris. You're right, I did plug this in incorrectly.
Yeah, because it's less $1,386.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so the grant would be $12,474.
$12,474.
Just requires using Excel correctly. Okay, so again, it would be a narrower scope of work. It would only be for the painting, so it would not be everything that they actually put in the application. It would be that which is included in the contractor estimate that was provided. Okay. Do we wish to entertain a motion regarding this grant application?
Yes. I so move.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving this application, please signify by aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
it. Aye.
Awesome, okay.
Who made the motion?
Mark-
Application is approved.
Yep. No, I did, yes.
And then we have Mara DiTullio, 24 East 32nd Street. And she is looking specifically at window replacement. The total project cost is $8,122. $812 would be her required match, which leaves a grant request for $7,310. We tabled this last time because we didn't have information on the specifics on the windows. We wanted clarity to make sure that the windows were matching the original wood windows perfectly, right? Size, style. However, she has provided the material, so the replacement windows, she is proposing to use vinyl. And I believe in her letter, she also, or her email to Chris, she also stated that she would be, or she has already replaced, I think, the second floor windows
I think something like that.
using vinyl, and they too match the size and style
Right.
of the original window.
I was a little confused by
hate
the
vinyl
quote.
windows.
Don't we all?
I was a little confused by the quote, and it's 16 windows for like $8,000. That's a pretty good deal. But there's other amounts in here with the slider in the kitchen or picture and slider, but she's only asking for the 8,122, whatever that scope is, that's what she's asking for, right? I don't know what that other stuff is, but apparently it's not included, because it's 8122 is what she's asking for.
So in her application,
What was the address again? I'm sorry, for Mara?
24 East 32nd Street.
East 32nd. Okay, thank you.
In her original application, she is only asking for $8,122.
Okay, that's fine.
And she does provide
You have to turn the computer on the side.
yes,
Read it
yes.
sometime.
the contractor estimate.
Okay, that was my only question. She spelled out what the scope is for $8,122. We don't care about anything else that's on there because she's not including that.
And she's not listing all of the things she's doing to the house, she's just asking for just the windows, is that correct?
If you look at the quote, there's the scope for
Right.
$8,122, then there's two lines below it about sliders and different windows and stuff with different dollar amounts. But if that's not included in that $8,122, so I assume it's the scope above that, the 16 windows above that.
So in her email response to Chris, the windows will be vinyl double hung. They will have the 3x3 colonial grids at the top to make them match exactly the original windows. I've already had the upstairs windows replaced previously, and the style perfectly matches the original windows of the house. She did get a quote for the repair or replacement of the wood windows to compare to the vinyl replacements. So the wood windows would have been $41,000, and the vinyl windows are, of course, less expensive.
Wow, geez, that's a lot.
Comments, concerns?
No?
I think she said everything
I'll
she
make a
needed.
motion to approve.
Okay. We have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in approval of the motion to approve this grant application, signify by aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
You were in approval, right, Dave? Sorry, the timing is a little off. Okay.
Mark, do you need copies of the new applications?
I would include them when I do the notes, if that's okay, but I'm hearing you.
I've got copies with me.
Yeah, let's read it. Why not?
Thank you all for hanging in there with us. We know this is a lengthy process.
Copies of each.
So looking at the list of applications that are new to us, we have Daniel Riley, 231 West 21st Street. Do we have a representative from this property here? No. Okay, just quickly, this applicant is seeking funding to repair brackets, dormers, fascia, and soffit. The cost of the project is $28,000. The request is maxing out at $15,000, with the property owner providing $13,000 in matching funds.
And this is a property within the West 21st Street Historic District.
I had no questions about this.
No, I don't either.
I'm sorry, Melinda, could you tell me which one this is again?
Daniel Riley, there's the one on top of it. On top of the stack.
Oh, Daniel Riley. Okay, thank you.
No, they're doing power washing, but that's fine, as we talked before, as long as they do it properly without hurting the building.
Dave, did you have any questions or concerns about this applicant or application?
No questions. I saw it was fully detailed on the information sheet from the proposal, so I thought it was detailed pretty well.
Excellent.
I'll make sure to make that
Do we wish to entertain then a motion on this application?
Yep, I'll make the motion to approve the
I'll
Dale and
move
Brown
motion.
application.
Or second.
Dave seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing
Second.
none. Oh, go ahead.
Who moved it? I'm so sorry.
Jeff moved.
Thank you, Jeff.
Dave second. All in favor, please signify by aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Our next applicant is the Erie County Historical Society / Hagen History Center, and we've got a good contingent here to come and chat with us about their project. Dave, you're going to let the big guns handle this?
He said he didn't want to get up. Okay. I'm Jerry Cicchetti, and I'm the Advancement Director for the Hagen History Center, and I wrote the grant. And with us is Jeff Kidder, our architect. So this is a project where we've been restoring parts of the mansion over time, and this part had not been restored at least for the last 50 years. And so it's a roof that's experiencing many leaks, and it's time to replace it. We can no longer repair it, and so the executive summary really summed everything up. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I'm familiar with the property, so if others have questions, now would be the time to ask.
They're asking for the entire 15,000.
Yes.
I had a question, if you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
I think from what I read, it's a copper roof, but it's painted, and it would continue to be copper repair and then painted over. Is that correct?
I didn't
Joe?
know that.
Hey, Dave. The current roof is tin, flat lock, fully soldered tin that has to be repainted preferably every 5 to 7 years. But we're proposing to put a copper roof on, same system, same details, same panel size. The gutter, the fascia of the gutter is copper, so we've had an issue of tin and copper and galvanic reactions and stuff, so we're going to do the whole roof out of copper, retain the egg and dart fascia gutter decorative detail, and just make it all copper. And also currently the gutter is sagging in the middle, so the water's spilling over where it shouldn't be spilling over because the brackets have rotted and rusted, so that's going to all be rebuilt and pitched to the downspout.
Is that originally what was there, Jeff, or was it tin?
The current roof there we think is about 60 years old, and it is tin, but all the other metal on the building is copper, so we're not sure if it was originally copper or not. But this way it'll just it won't require any ongoing maintenance other than inspections, because the copper will age naturally and won't have to be coated.
Yep, great, thank you.
It's needed repair for probably 10, 15, 20 years. Yeah.
I was going to say, it's likely it was copper, and then when the school district had it, they put tin on it because it was
Probably.
less money, and then now you're putting it back to the original would be my guess.
Do we have any questions for this?
So this one, again, is over $25,000, right? So it would be subject to prevailing wage. We've already priced that.
understand that,
Okay,
yes.
that's good.
I would move yes.
So Mark is motioning. Do we
Yes.
have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor signify by aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Been approved. Thank you.
Let's say no to everybody else. No, just kidding.
Okay, next we have Jasmine and David Almeida, 1508 South Shore Drive. Do we have representatives of this property here? No, that's me. Oh, that's you? Okay.
So So I don't have too much additional information other than what I gave in the application. My family and I bought that house 4 years ago. You probably have seen it before. It's on South Shore. I was looking at a quote to get it painted. I got the quote before COVID, and it was $15,000, and I got another one after, and now it's $19,000. I did bring an old picture of our house just for your historical interest, if anyone wants to take a look. But this is on our wall. I can pass it up.
Yeah,
if
this is actual photograph.
I just grabbed it off my husband's office wall before I left. So the house was built in 1932. Thanks. I did notice there was power washing on our estimate too, so I'll definitely be careful with that.
Yeah, you have to be careful. The other thing I noticed in the application is that the taxes are not current, and there was no check mark that they could be made current. Is there a reason for that?
Oh, I must have missed that. They're all current.
Okay, because the application does not say that.
Oh, I must have read over it wrong or something, but all the taxes are up to date and paid.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Do we have any questions about the project? So just for clarification, your total project cost is now $19,475. Requesting the full amount possible, so the $15,000, which means you as the property owner are willing to contribute then $4,475 to the project? Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. I did have one question, if it's approved. Is there certain colors that are approved by the Historical Society, or I'm not going to go crazy or anything, but I wasn't sure. I know with the Tudors, it's really traditional to have that dark brown.
What color are you planning on?
Well,
I guess I simply made the assumption that you were going to paint it the same colors that it was.
well, probably we'll end up going with like a dark brown or black, but I do sometimes look at the gray toned ones and the white ones and wonder what it would look like. So I'm not 100% on the color yet, but probably something similar.
Okay.
I don't think that
Is
we have
is the
voted
front
on
door
any
painted?
paint.
It looks like it's a finished door from the picture, unless I'm looking at it wrong.
It's stained and it's chipped. I have a picture on my phone,
Stained.
a close-up if anyone wants to see.
Are there rules in that neighborhood? Is there a neighborhood committee?
Yeah, I'm on it,
is it
but
some-
I don't think we have rules. I just wasn't
Because
sure.
some neighborhoods have individual
Yeah.
rules relative to paint, like Glenwood does.
Yeah, I'll check that, but I don't think so.
So if we're truly concerned as a commission, we could always approve contingent on the
Color
final
selection.
submission of color choices.
Okay, well, I'll just, if it's going to make or break it, then I'll just go with the same color scheme that it already has. I just was curious.
But yeah,
I don't think we voted in it.
You're right, it is a finished door now. Could it just be finished, or it's going to be painted? Because it's stained wood now. Could it just be retouched and stained again, or?
I think the door would be retouched and stained again.
Okay, that's what I was right. I thought you were going to actually paint the front door another color, so I must have heard wrong, sorry.
No, I think the quote is just to kind of clean it up and re-stain it.
So in order for Chris to go inspect the project at the end, we need to clarify exactly what the work is going to be, right? So when he goes to look and see that it was done according to
The request.
request, right? So the door, understand you're going to refinish the door and stain it, but the wood on the house it's painted now, or it's stained now?
The wood is painted.
Painted, and you're going to paint it again?
Uh-huh.
They're going to clean off the junk, the bad
Right.
paint, and put on new paint.
Yeah, you can see here it says to sand the outside of the front door, restain the outside of the front door, and paint all exterior wood.
Right, so it's painted now, the wood outside, you're going to paint it again? Okay. All right, so it's as the application says. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
I'll second.
Oh, David, you got it?
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to approve this grant application for 1508 South Shore Drive, signify by aye.
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 Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a beautiful house.
Yes.
Okay, so our next applicant is Jeremy Young, and I think we had Jeremy on Zoom.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you for joining us. At any time, you can jump right in and tell us about your project.
Yeah, sure. Actually, this is a project of a building that I purchased on my own little personal mission here around developing property in Erie. And it's on 363 West 8th Street, which I'm sure some of you all are familiar with, that corner of 8th and Chestnut. That building had been sitting there vacant for some time. And, I've been working on that one slowly but surely over the last couple of years. Right now we're at a point where it's the application is around the storefront and getting that project, part of that project, moving forward.
So just a note here, the total project cost I see was $55,525. But with the amount requested, it states $15,000, and then the amount of private funds is $15,000 as well, which totals to $30,000. Are you intending to do only $30,000 worth of work for this $55,000 project?
No, ma'am. We're actually going to work on, this is just a piece of completing the entire building.
Okay, so if your grant were to be approved, any amount beyond the $15,000 up to the $55,525 would be covered by yourself. Is that accurate then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did
Yes.
I see also that your firm is also, you're also the contractor for the project? Is that accurate?
Yes. Well, yes. We actually had to get some resources out of the Pittsburgh area to provide some quotes, because part of our timeline of working on this thing, we find I'm sure you've heard this story a couple of times, where we compete with these guys at the EDDC and those guys at Cathedral Prep, and also that billionaire guy down on 6th Street. So in order for us to get some resources, we had to go outside of the circle.
For contractors.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the old
Correct.
Friendly Tavern. This is Friendly's.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the oldest bar in the city of Erie. There used to be a canal right there, and they used to sell oysters. Weird stuff.
Yeah.
And so the entity doing the work is JJ Home Improvements.
JJ Home Improvements, correct.
And is that you, Jeremy?
No, actually, it's a contractor that I work with in the past.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I was, I think I may have gotten confused looking at the application. So thank you for mentioning that.
So, Jeremy, I'm
Jeremy,
trying
is
to
that,
understand the appearance of the
Is it an
building.
aluminum storefront system?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was getting some feedback there. Sorry, Dave.
I'm sorry. Is that an aluminum storefront system that you're proposing, or is it wood? 'Cause I see the glass called out. I see brake metal, aluminum, but I'm not sure if I'm reading this right. Is it like a storefront system, aluminum?
Yeah. That's really what the plan is for it on the on that side for that storefront. I guess the best analogy I would put towards it is, kind of aligning to the same type of storefront that I put in on the Turnpike building several years ago. So just kind of going along with the times on what we have available for us.
Okay.
So Jeremy, I'm trying to understand the appearance of the building with this, the horizontally split side lights. It will look different than it does today, but can you explain what it will look like when it's done?
Actually, a lot cleaner. What we're trying to do is obviously clean up that storefront area with replace the glass, replace the entryway. And you're right, on that left side of the building, that used to be the entryway to the upstairs apartment. And really what we're going to put there is just going to be a window.
Okay,
Does that
but
help?
Well, in the estimate, it talks about install 2 horizontally split side lights measuring 4 foot by 5 foot. And then there's another line, install 2 horizontally split side lights. So when I'm looking at the picture, I see now on either side of the door, it looks like 9 by 9, at least from this view, 9 by 9 lights on one side, 3 by 3, 9 lights. That will be now just 2 pieces of glass? You won't have all these divisions?
Yeah.
It will be 2 pieces of glass with a horizontal mullion down the middle of it, and both sides will be the same. Okay, and
Correct.
above the door, I know right where that sign Tomo is, it's got that old cornice. You're keeping the cornice and restoring it, covering it with aluminum.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so the glass won't go up any higher than it does now, or will it?
Correct.
What will be between the top of the glass and where the Tomo sign is now?
Over the top of the glass, it'll just be fill. So we'll just have that there up to the cornice area.
Okay, and what will that fill be? What will the siding be on that?
It'll be the aluminum.
Okay.
You used to have those little square tiles, those little square glass teardrop tiles.
That's the ones you can't see through. You couldn't see people in there
back in the
drinking.
day. They could still be there. They could just be covered.
Well, actually, I've actually looked in this window because I walked by the building in my walks in the city of Erie. I wanted to see what was going on in there. I see it's all kind of, it's certainly needed some work inside. But I agree. Cleaning up the building and restoring a historic storefront is certainly a worthwhile project.
That used to have the amber room in it on the second floor.
It did. Yeah, and so far up to this point, I mean, we've done a lot of work just regarding the, taking a part of the building down in the back half. There used to be an apartment back there. They were interconnecting buildings. Really cleaning up at least trying to do our best to clean up the outside of the building. And then obviously, when you look in the window, there's nothing in there, and we're pretty much down to the studs at this point.
Yes, right. So for your
Yeah.
inspection, Chris, do you want to see a elevation, or is that verbal description good enough?
I mean, for me, the verbal description would be fine,
Okay.
since it's going to be replaced anyway. I mean, I don't even think the front is original at this point, so I'm not too concerned. I mean, as long as it's not outlandish or anything like that, turning it into Trump Tower or something, but
Okay.
as his description sounds is acceptable, so that's what I'd be going on.
Okay. All right.
Are those old windows still there, Jeremy? Are they behind that, covering over the windows that I see in the front, across the very top of it? There used to be little teeny, like 5-inch square pieces of glass. Are they still there?
So they are still there. However, over the years, I mean, they've been, people have decided to throw some things through there, right?
Sure.
So they're broken at this stage.
I get it.
Yeah.
Dave, do you have any further questions?
I think real quick, I'm kind of looking at the application, and is the door is going to remain, Jeremy?
No, we're going to have a new door in there as well, Dave.
Okay. Yeah, because right now it's just, it's just a hollow metal, solid door. So, yeah, definitely more welcome. Again, I'm not here to critique whether it's welcoming or not, but just kind of the design.
I'm absolutely lockstep with you.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's the only question I had. And again, it's going to be an improvement to the building and hopefully get a tenant in, so that's good news to see that happening.
When do you plan to start to work?
Actually, immediately. At this stage now, we've already done a lot of work on the building. If you actually drive past it, not that you can see the new roof that we put on there, but you'll definitely notice the windows on the second floor. That's all been replaced. And just cleaning up the space itself. And so, yeah, we're ready to go. And I consider this a project that's in process. It's just that this is a great piece of it that, obviously, any help that can come in and work with us on that would be greatly appreciated.
And and if you've already said this, I'm so sorry. How do you intend on using the building? What do you plan on putting in there? Do you know?
Well, right now, considering that we have a company right down the street that actually is an IT company. Those folks like to go out and have their happy hours. But I think at this stage right now, what we're trying to do is get the building back into shape where we can either complete our vision with it or complete somebody else's vision with it and make
Sure.
Contribute it to the neighborhood.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? I'll just note, I do think with this application, it probably would have been helpful to have an elevation or some type of drawing, rendering of what the final product will look like to match up with the written description of the scope of work, but those are just additional comments. Okay, so we have the motion, we have the second. All in favor of approving this application, please signify by aye.
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 Awesome, okay. Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody, for your support.
Thank you. Okay, so our next application is from Marcia Thompson, 423 Chautauqua Boulevard. You've seen the process, so feel free to start at any time.
Well, I didn't really have anything to add to the application. I do want to replace this roof with metal versus shingles. I think it lasts longer. I never want to have to worry about a leak. One time it was a nail, the other time it was around the dormer. I just spent a week fixing that ceiling. So that is the way I wanted to go. As far as historical value in the neighborhood, there are several metal roofs. I really wish I would have gone for the copper like the Historical Society.
It's pricey.
But I didn't.
Creep.
So it's my little castle on McDaniel Run. And as long as you had the grants available, I thought I would try and get one.
Have you chosen a color yet?
Yes, a deep brown like the shutters.
Okay.
I have a shed that already has the metal roof on it. That's not in the picture. I don't even know if I have one, but I can.
This is also incredibly cost-effective. I could not believe.
I can't believe it's
I had
so
to look
cheap.
twice, yeah, at your quote.
Is it a small house?
Oh, yes, it's very small, 1,100 square feet, not quite, maybe.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. Still,
There's a lot less labor than nailing down shingles.
guess.
so-
I just don't want to have to worry about the roof leaking anymore. I'll
I
be
can dig it.
67 and climbing up there and looking around for leaks is not my idea of a fun time.
I have a friend of mine who just fell off of a ladder doing that exact same thing and did some serious damage. So, and he's our age.
To the roof or to himself?
Yeah, the roof was fine, and the ladder, not a thing. But this dude required an ambulance.
That's just it. I never want to have to worry about it.
No, he's a
again.
dear guy. I'm sorry, I'm not joking.
Okay, Dave, do you have any questions?
No, I'm looking at the application again. I looked at it earlier. I'm just looking to give you a second here.
Okay.
So if anyone else has any comments, please go ahead.
So mark again for your notes, this would be an $8,500 project. The property owner would pay $850, and the grant request would be $7,650.
Good. I'm going to go back and do all the paperwork back. I didn't realize I had it.
Color was the only question I had about this project, so
I'm a brown person.
it'll look beautiful on your home.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to approve.
Do you have a second?
I'll second. I just finished reviewing again, and it looks fine of me, and hopefully it will last you a good long time, so.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the motion to approve this grant?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a nice day.
And thanks for hanging in there with us. Okay, next, Spencer Diepold, 4031 Trask Avenue.
Hello, everyone. We're applying for brick repair to chimneys on our house. It's not clear there from the application just because of the lack of color, but it's like a yellowish, orangish brick. They have these kind of vertical patterns, and Antonio happened to have a pallet of the correct brick, 8 inches long and everything, so it would fit right.
So Spencer, I don't think I have yours. Tell me your last name, please.
Dippold, D-I-P-P-O-L-D,
I'm sorry for the
That's okay.
mispronunciation.
And the address is, please?
4031 Trask, T-R-A-S-A-K Avenue.
Right where that is. Thank you.
And this looks like a straightforward chimney repair.
Yeah. I had gotten a second quote in the fall from another guy, and they said that the bricks didn't exist anymore, and he was gonna do like this putty thing and try and do color matching and stuff, so Antonio had a palette of it, which was fantastic, because I did
Yeah.
not want that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
So just to be clear, you were only requesting 5,000, is that correct?
Yeah, I had put that in, like, I thought as a show of good faith, but apparently no one else did that. So I can take it back and cross it off. I would
You can apply,
gladly
you
do
can
that.
do another project, and you can apply again.
Well, we were trying to think, I mean, there's, we bought the house 4 years ago, and it needed pretty much everything done, so we've been doing stuff
See,
constantly.
we
so-
can't do it retroactively,
Yeah.
but if there's
Yeah.
another
Well, there's
project,
lots
you
to do.
are entitled to apply again, is that correct?
You can, yeah. I think we
Yeah,
said
do
you
it.
just have to complete your project first,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And as long as there's money still available.
right?
And as long as you haven't spent all the money.
Okay, so, again, $7,587 is the total project cost. 5,000 is the request, with the property owner providing $2,587.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Can I ask a question? I
Second.
mean, since they did such good faith, is it possible that we could just adjust that number from $5,000 and add it, make
We
it
absolutely could do
6,700?
that. Mhm.
I would recommend that we do that at this time and just say 6,700 or 6,500. You know what I mean? Like, let's get a better number here.
I second that.
If that's okay with everybody else, let's just figure out the number and let's just adjust the application. That doesn't happen in government very often, does it?
Okay, so that makes
So
the
what's the request now?
So the request is now $6,828.30,
Okay.
and the property owner's contribution is $758.70.
Yeah, I move that we accept that.
Okay, can we then vote to approve the amendment, I guess?
Okay. Let's amend it first.
Let's amend it.
And then a vote.
Yep.
I move we amended the application.
Do I have a second? I'll second. All in favor of the amended motion, signify by aye.
Aye.
Perfect, thanks, David.
Okay.
Fantastic, so we have the amended approval, which was motioned by Jeff, seconded by Dave, and the request amount is now $6,828.30. All in favor, signify by aye.
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 Opposed? Congratulations.
Just like, what happens next? Do I get